All right, welcome back to Plain It Safe. And today it was actually a request. Thanks, Tina, for the request of role expectations and role reversals. And what do I mean by that is Austin and I, we are a married couple, but he stays at home and takes care of the children, and I go out and work. And what does that mean? And how do people view that? And you think in today's world, there wouldn't be many issues with that, or anyone even giving us a hard time about that. But both of us have experienced different, um, different kind of comments or expressions, and so I just thought it'd be kind of cool to talk about that.
I mean, definitely is different than it would have been like, 20 years ago or more. Like, even though, yeah, we still get like, and people mostly don't say anything negative about it for the most part.
To you.
um, yeah, they don't say mostly, but you can tell like, just talking to someone in the back, like you can tell in the back of their head, they're like, oh, geez, like this guy's not working or something's like, no, like that's what we made this decision. It wasn't like I don't feel like getting a job or anything. No, there was a conscious decision. All right, I'll stay at home and take care of the kids instead of putting everybody in daycare and neither one of us seeing them most of the day. Which it's a luxury that we're able to do that. Like that's a luxury that a lot of people would love to have and cannot do. But anyways, that's I just wanted to.
Yeah, and to go off that, the decision was made was when we were expecting our twins. We had two young ones already, a 3 year old and a 1 year old, and about to expect twins. And so the cheapest daycare I could find was for $3,600 a month for all four children. And so that's crazy, Austin. We're looking at both our incomes, and I'm like, well, you have the decision that you can use all your income to pay for this, or would you want to stay home and be able to watch the children? And four kids, Jesus, that's a lot of children. So it's definitely anyone who's ever stayed at home or watched their kids just even for an hour or two, I can't handle them that long. No, it's a lot of work to do that all day long. That is, as I tell Austin, definitely he's a saint. There definitely has to be a place for him, yeah, up somewhere in the sky. But I really wanted to talk about it because, for example, I went a on the Red Table Talk to talk about mom shaming, and it was really for my. I get mom shamed a lot for me being at work, and so one thing I have noticed in our change of roles is that, for example, Austin, you always get praised mostly. I say mostly because we'll give you examples later, but you usually get it praised for, wow. I mean, look at this guy; he's doing an amazing job. And it's not like you don't get told you're just watching your kids. It seems like if it's something that's extra, and you always have to correct people. You're like, no, I'm not.
Not
I'm not
babysitting.
babysitting. These are my children. They're like, wow, you're babysitting. That's great.
Yeah, like mostly, positive comments from women who wish they could do that, or, um, you know, they know that their significant other would never do that or be willing to do that.
Or they also know the struggle.
Or that too. They know how difficult it is to watch children.
Yes, and then
Especially a large number of them.
on the other the other hand is you get praised for doing this great job, what you do, and I get like backhanded compliments all the time. For a while, especially before pandemic, not only am I gone all day, I go to a lot of conferences purposely, right? No, no, but I go attend a lot of things, and I'm gone, and I get compliments or like, "Wow, you do a great job." Oh, but I could never go to a conference because I have to focus on my family, or I can't dare spare time away from my family, or and it's always like, wait a minute, are you saying that I don't focus on my family because I'm gone or because I'm at work? Oh, that must be nice, but I gotta just be with my family, and so it was always like it's almost like people are trying to shame you without directly doing it, but like, oh, as a mom, I've been told that, like, oh, as a mother, I just can't miss those moments, and that's why I can't do what you do. And it used to hurt. I'm pretty good about not letting it affect me anymore, but it's not that I don't want to be home or enjoy those things, but at the same time, me going to work, um, I take a lot of pride in that because I think it's really cool that not only do we have role reversals, we didn't play it safe by doing this, and we have a lot of daughters. About to welcome the fourth daughter, so we're about to have our fifth baby, and we only have one son. And I say only because I think as a woman, me being able to show my daughters this type of environment, they don't know any different actually. So it's not like it's something new to them. They just think that that's the way the world is. Mommy goes to work, daddy stays home and watches us. And I feel like for me, I take a lot of pride in that, knowing that they have that option, knowing that they can do what they want. We're always trying to encourage that, but now they see it. So I do take pride in that. So that's what I try to do to change that conversation of shaming.
Hmm. It's good to show them an example. I mean, it's not as like the stereotype from years ago was that you know the men don't do that much with their kids, and
Mm-hmm.
so that I think that's especially like old generation people are like always like, oh my gosh, you watch the kids, it's so amazing. um and it's not as bad now, but it is, like you said, it is nice to show an example, like you, all right, sorry about that, we had a little bit of a technical glitch. The had a weather alert that turned off the camera. So anyways, what I was saying was it's nice to be able to show an example to our daughters and son that a dad can be more than just like a part of the furniture. Like again, like I said, that stereotype is not as prevalent as it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like every sitcom that we grew up watching, the dad was like this buffoonish guy that just showed up at the end of the day, kicked his shoes off, put his feet on the couch, grabbed a beer, and didn't interact with children. Um, Whereas my our kids would never. They'd be like, "What? What? Why is the dad? Why is that happening? Like that's not what dads do."
Yeah, daddy's supposed to come play with us like all the time.
And if he doesn't, we cry.
Yeah. And then when they try to get mommy to play, I'm like, I'm not daddy. You go to your daddy, okay? But a lot of the older generations do still hold that mentality. And I remember a close family member was upset that our son was pushing a stroller, the little play strollers with the baby inside, and they're like, why is he doing that? And I'm like, because he sees his daddy do that, and that's why he's doing that. And
And heaven forbid, even if that's not what the example he had seen before, but like heaven forbid you have a him like play pretending to be a caring parent. Like why would that be?
nurturing
Yeah,
human
nurturing
being.
parent. Exactly. Why would that be a negative in any way? But
Yeah, and then we also get I hear a lot, some of our generation, some of the men, say I think have a different perspective of what it means to stay at home, and they're like, man, I would love to be you, Austin. And I mean, that's
must be
goals,
nice.
goals right there. And it's like, have you all hung out with kids that long? It's rough.
I mean, I'm not trying to say it's the hardest thing in the world or anything. Like, you know,
To me it is.
um, yeah. I mean, it's there's definitely challenges. It's stressful, but in a different way. Like I've had jobs where I've done like manual labor and stuff like that, and yeah, it sucks and it's hard to beat you up. And at the end of the day, you come home and whatever, you get to relax. But um, it's just different stressors. You're just worried about raising a terrible human. You're just like, oh, I hope this kid doesn't turn out terrible. That's
Hope
pretty
they're not
much
an
all it
a-hole.
is.
And this just shows that even though we've made a lot of progression, a lot of people still hold different views of what it means to be at home, because some people that are our age and be like, oh, I really want to do it, that's goals right there, that's what I want. But they're talking and making remarks as far as making it seem like it's a really easy thing where there's still that misconception. Like I have major respect for Austin because I have stayed at home for a little bit for maternity leave, and especially after just one kid, like freaking losing my mind, right? Like this is hard, and so I have a different perspective in my viewpoint of being a woman. I'm knowing the the difficulty it would be to be at home with the kids, where when a man comes in and talks to you about it, they're like, "Yeah, that sounds awesome." Not working, and it's like, no, technically Austin's job is way harder than mine. So,
Yeah,
uh,
they're like, oh man, that sounds cush. Just get to sit at home and play with kids all day. I'm like, yeah, it's not quite how it goes.
I get yelled at most of the day,
Screamed at most of the day.
and no damn respect in this house.
I'm gonna add a fifth one to that.
Yeah, and
Screaming.
so we just wanted to talk about it because I know for a lot of people they ask me questions a lot. Sometimes they bring it up to Austin, and it's just like, well, how did you do that? How did you come to that? Would you do it again? And honestly, I mean, again, it's a luxury we have, being able to do this. We know that most families cannot. We had to make some adjustments very early on with that, not realizing, how much it would be to have four children, and because the twins were a surprise, as far as
Them being two of them.
the
They
big
were
two of them.
pregnancy was planned, but the being more than one at a time was a surprise.
Yeah, so it just we have been able to grow a lot, and it's been a good thing because I don't know if we had not done that, we would ever have that conversation or be able to demonstrate that to our children as far as what mommies and daddies do or do not do. And it's going to be really interesting. I am like, I mean, not that I want my kids to be grown already, well, kind of, to be out of the house, but not that I'm, trying to rush them out, but it to me, I get excited to see um what they're going to view, like their viewpoints in life as they get older,
Mm. Love a different perspective.
Yeah, I always make jokes that my daughters are going to look to find somebody to stay at home. And my son's going to learn how to do all these things because he's going to be like, oh, no, 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 I'm supposed to stay at home with the children.
So aren't you gonna work?
Yeah. So I think that'll be interesting, and it's just a good dynamic to have.
And and even that they don't have it. It's not like just a cut and dry like you work and I stay at home with the kids because they see me like as I train personal training clients in the garage too. So or it will give you a home
Mm-hmm.
garage gym, and so they do see dad like mommy she goes to work and she works a lot. She provides for all of us and daddy does a little bit on the side just to help out. But obviously my main role is to look after them and you know
And the main thing we do make sure we communicate is that daddy doesn't do a little bit of work. We don't say, it's not, or mommy doesn't pay the bills. It's we, you
all
know,
do all of it.
yeah, we all do all of it. We're a team. We got to make sure, because it's easy for that dynamic to change if we communicate it that way. And I think that's one of the hardest parts that a lot of couples have is oh, I brought home money. I made this,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they communicate it that way in front of the children, so a lot of times, and so the kids start having attitudes, with um, who's boss or things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. And so but with our children, we don't communicate that. We communicate it's always we. It's not,
Yeah, yeah.
you know
Mommy and daddy are on the same team.
yeah, we both work.
Yeah.
Daddy works probably way harder than mommy. When they're like, well, daddy's at home, I'm not. Daddy works way more than mommy, trust me. And
According to them, neither of us do very much, actually.
according to them, I just all I do is sit all day and fold laundry. So I don't do very much with them. But that's another
And
topic.
daddy just watches them. That's it. Just watch them move around.
Yeah. So I think it's a good thing though. It's just we're trying to communicate those things. Would we have ever planned this out? It was never a conversation or even an option while we were dating or
I
in the
don't.
beginning of our marriage.
We. I don't think we ever thought of the possibility of being able to survive off of a single income.
Hmm.
Because in the very beginning of our relationship,
We were struggling.
we're always financially struggling. You were getting a graduate degree. We both were working, like, especially like right before we got married.
Mhm.
We both had 3 jobs.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, that was fun.
oh yeah, that was a good time. No sleep. Um, but so the idea of one of us being able to stay home, that would never have been an option or crossed our minds,
Yeah.
something that we could have thought of. And then it was just, because of how all the work you put in, that allowed us to even have the option of that. You know,
Yeah, and it's been great. At least for me, it's been great, right? No, just poor Austin. I know that you do love it. I just again, I say it out loud, and but it's a lot of work, and I honestly don't think I could do it myself. So that's why I'm always amazed by him. And I'm not saying this because I'm being recorded. He knows I always tell him, "What do you want, babe? I'll buy you anything you want," because that's so crazy. Uh, but yeah, I know a lot of people are always curious and interested. So just know it wasn't something we had planned nor we thought we could ever do. It just happened to fall that way. And I think a lot of people might be able to pull it off if, you're looking financially at like, well, how much do we pay for this? And maybe I make a little bit more um still working while paying for daycare, but what can I cut back? Because that was it at the first. Like,
we
what
need to
can
go back in a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
what can we cut back to do this? Because it was just crazy to spend that much money, and you really were just working. A lot of parents are just really working to survive, and a lot of the childcare is literally one income of
Yeah,
one
it
individual.
took my entire income. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it was just like, what's the point? Because and then it was like, okay, I can work more, but I'll never see them,
yeah,
or you, or So it's like, what's the point of that? Um, but obviously, like you were saying, or like we were talking about earlier, it's a luxury. Not many people have that option. We, especially in the very beginning, didn't have that option. Um, so it's hard to. I like having this conversation, but I also feel bad, like we're like, people are gonna watch or listen and be like, well, not everybody has that luxury. It's like, yes, we know. We're trying to emphasize the
hmm
point. Like, we know that's not an option for most people, but it ended up working out for us, and it being the
And the
best thing.
reason why we're just having this conversation is because of either the acknowledgement we get or the criticism we get about our roles and how it is. Like I said, I get shamed a lot. You get praised mostly, which is some BS, right?
From women, from men of a older generation, it's always like, oh, and then just kind of like, this guy.
Yeah, and then well, for women of all generations, they acknowledge, "Oh, that's great." And then at the same time it's like, "Oh, but you should be focusing on your family. Oh, your poor kids." I'm like, if I'm ruining their lives by working. And so that's the reason why we brought this up, because of it being not in the traditional roles that society places on, what gender should do. I know, and I know we've gone away from like we've changed a lot and we've progressed a lot, but there's a lot of people who, even if they are um, very progressive, they still like, well, I mean, it really is a woman's place to kind of,
They just have like a visceral reaction, like,
yeah, like to nurture and to do all that. And it's like, it's not that I'm not trying to do that. It's just that this is the way it happened to be, and so this is why we are having um, that topic right now. Is just, we kind of just tried something and hope it worked, and thankfully we've been able to do it for um, a little over 4 years now. Yeah, and so again, feel free to message us at plainitsafe000 at gmail.com if you have any questions or any other topics that you would like us to discuss. We're definitely open for that. It's been a pleasure of having everyone here. Please like, share, and subscribe
and comment.
and comment. And until the next time, we'll keep keeping it real. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye.